What's up, sports bettors? I got 5 player props for you on PrizePicks to turn 250 into 2.5K. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So my first pick is right here. It's from what's called the OddsJam Sportsbooks screen. And essentially what this tool does is, there's no BS. It's just raw data, right? So it shows you where every sportsbook, where every platform is setting the line. And what you're going to notice is for Jared Vanderbilt, his line is 6 on PrizePicks. Right? All the sports books and other fantasy sites, so we can see NHA here, all the other sports books, they all have his line at 5.5, right? So PrizePicks is at 6. Every other data point in the market's at 5.5. FanDuel has the same odds on the over and the under. So some of the books, they have the over very slightly favored. So this OddsJam algo odds takes like a consensus, an average from the market. So you can see the over 5.5 is slightly favored, but PrizePicks has the line at 6. All the books, all the other fantasy sites are at 5.5. So we want to take the under. PrizePicks, they have their line too high, right? So you look at a play like, Draymond Green. PrizePicks has his line at 6.5. All the sports books have his line at 6.5. No value in the market. You look at Vanderbilt, clear discrepancy. 2 fantasy sites, they have a difference in where they're setting the line. All the books have his line at 5.5. FanDuel doesn't have any juice. PointsBet doesn't have any juice towards the over, towards the under. So long story short, the line is too high on PrizePicks. We want to take the under. Jared Vanderbilt, under 6 rebounds. That's the first play I'm on for today. So the second tool I use, there's a couple, I guess, to find profitable plays on PrizePicks. The first is the positive expected value betting tool. So basically, the way that PrizePicks works is it's a fixed payout platform, right? So any 5-pick entry, this is going to be your payout. 3 for 5.4x, all that good stuff. So what you're going to notice is like, okay, it doesn't matter if I change to an over, right? If I took an over for Vanderbilt as opposed to the under, my payout doesn't change. But obviously, I don't want to take his over 6 rebounds. All the books have his line at 5.5. But PrizePicks is a fixed payout platform, right? They're not changing your payout based on the picks you select. So I've broken down the math before, but essentially to make money on PrizePicks long term for a play to be profitable, you have to win 54.25% of your picks or more. Right? You have to win over 54.25% of your plays. So if you're able to select your over-unders like Jimmy Butler, over-under 6.5 rebounds, if you want to be profitable on PrizePicks, you got to be able to win these plays over 54.25% of the time. Right? So winning 52% of the time, you're not going to be profitable. Plays in red, right? No good. You're not going to make money on PrizePicks long term. So obviously, PrizePicks, if you have no advantage, you're only going to be able to get these over-unders correctly, 50% of the time. If you have no advantage, you're basically blindly selecting overs and unders. So what PrizePicks assumes is you can only win these player props 50% of the time. So you'll lose money on PrizePicks long term. If you don't have an advantage, you can only win these picks 50% of the time. You have to get your win rate for your player prop picks. You got to be able to win all these picks over 54.25% of the time. So what this betting tool does, this is called the OddsJam Positive EV tool. You can see there's some value on, PrizePicks, actually a new play. That's not one of the plays I'm on. But what this tool does is it shows you spots where sportsbooks have an under or an over heavily favored. So what the Positive EV tool essentially shows you on PrizePicks is player props that are winning over 54.25% of the time. So if you look at Jalen Brunson, all the sportsbooks have his over favored. All the sportsbooks are telling you, Brunson is more likely to go over 24.5 points as opposed to under. His over is the favored outcome. All the books have his over juiced. So what this fantasy optimizer does is it just tells you the win probability for these plays. So the plays in red aren't profitable, right? This is just screen fantasy optimizer. So you need your picks on PrizePicks. You want to make money on this platform long term. You got to be able to win your picks 54.25% of the time or more. And again, PrizePicks' business model is they know most people don't have an edge. And if you don't have an edge, you don't have an advantage, you're only going to be able to win your player props 50% of the time. You got to be able to hit these 54.25% of the time. So long story short, what the fantasy optimizer shows you is quite simply player props winning over 54.25% of the time, and everything is based in sportsbook odds. So if you look at, Zach Greinke, his over 2.5 earned runs is heavily favored on the sportsbooks. Sportsbooks have his over around minus 140, kind of similar to Jalen Brunson over 24.5 points. All the books have his over favored. So this would be a good play to go with on PrizePicks. I didn't see it earlier, but I guess Jalen Brunson is a play that's available. You'd want to take his over, right? Just data-oriented sports betting. All the books have his over favored. We're not smarter than the sports books. We're following the market, looking for value, looking for where PrizePicks is slipping up, right? PrizePicks is assuming I can only win my prop bets 50% of the time. But using OddsJam, you find player props hitting at a rate above 54.25% of the time, and you're going to be profitable. So all these player props, you can see right here, John Gray, over 1.5 walks. Everything just based in data. Greinke, over 2.5 earned runs. Everything based in data. All sportsbooks have his over heavily favored. His over is the more likely outcome. And OddsJam just tells you, the win probability for your bet is 54.52%. So, quick video, but here are the plays I went with. Gray, over 1.5 walks allowed. Fantasy screen. Mikolas, under 2.5 earned runs. Greinke, over 2.5 earned runs. Also from the fantasy screen, Vanderbilt, under 6 rebounds. Play we went through earlier. And then DiVincenzo, over 5.5 points. So you can see that right here, right? DiVincenzo, over 5.5 points. Pinnacle Sportsbook, sharpest sportsbook in the world. They have this at minus 143. So OddsJam is just, constantly updating literally millions of odds from sportsbooks to show you where there's value. So sometimes there's value on sportsbooks like Fliff. Sometimes there's value on No House Advantage, which is a PrizePicks competitor. But, never know where the value is going to be on a given day. I found 5 profitable plays on PrizePicks, all winning over 54.25% of the time. Everything based in data, sportsbook odds. So this is what I went with for today. 5 picks to turn 250 into 2.5K. Let's make some money, guys.